Started in 1990. I've been at the Keystone office from the day one. I've always felt a very close allegiance to the Keystone office. I think a lot of it had to do with my early mentors, which were David Quaiser and BJ. It just seemed like a perfect fit for me. And I have to thank Jim for giving me the opportunity to be a manager, and particularly in my home office. I was very surprised. It was kind of the icing on the cake when you could step into management and also stay at your office. My son now is a realtor in my office. It's nice to be a manager and also a proud father as well.
As a young adult, I became a teacher, taught for a number of years, Indianapolis Public Schools, elementary and junior high. And I taught about 10 years. Had a family, and time passed and I got into real estate. I've been in the business 30 years. I was in the Graves North Meridian office, and then the merger, and then I went to Haverstick, and now I'm at Keystone at the Crossing. I think our office is great. The managers, the staff, everybody is very helpful. Just a nice combination of very nice people, and work very hard. That helps an awful lot.
I've been in the business about 26 and a half years. Before I started real estate, I taught school for 20 years, so this is my second career. I love the Tucker Company. It's one of the flattest organizations, and that's one of the main things that I like about it. I went to the Geist office, and Dorothy Ostheimer and Joe Dowd were the managers there. And Joe has been a good friend to me for 25 years. And we've gone through a lot. You know, I'm a two-time cancer survivor, and he's been right there with me. That means a lot to me. I've enjoyed all the Tucker golf outings. I finished second to Pat Perdue once, but I've won it twice, which is one more than Pat.
Yes, Brent, that's true, but I think my one is bigger than your two combined.
I started in 1989 with the F.C. Tucker Company. I wanted to go with the best. I interviewed with Jan Jackson. I didn't find this out till years later, but Kathy Collins stopped me in the hallway and she said, you know, Jan came up to me and said, I sent this guy up to you, but I don't know that he's going to do very well. He's a little quiet and you might have to work with him a little bit. And at that point in time I was single, so I was probably in Broad Ripple more than I should have been, but that's where my clientele was that I met the night before and needed to find a house. I kind of had two mentors, Beth Stevens and also Lynn Davis, so I guess I would have to owe my whole career to Lynn and Beth.
I've been in real estate since 1987. Began with the Tucker Company when it started in Lafayette. The way that I came to the Tucker Company was a little unusual. Lou Johnson and I had a transaction together. Her seller left huge piles of trash. We were closing the next day, and so we met on a weekend and hauled trash. So apparently one qualification for being an agent in the Tucker office was a sense of humor and the willingness to do unpleasant things. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to have worked in this office.
I'm Marty Gallagher, and I have been in the Carmel Tucker building since 1984. That was back when I used to have to saddle up my horse, get my ring of skeleton keys, and go out and start showing houses. Now I'm back in the loop, dot loop, and matrix, and I'm thinking technology will probably have us learning how to control drones to go out and show our houses. The doggies and kittens I have at home would like me to spend a little more time there. They'd like their daddy, Ed Gallagher, to be home a little more. He started 15 years before me. He had to get his club and go clear all the wild animals out of the caves before he started showing. So we've had a nice long stay with Tucker. We've made lots of friends. It's been a great, great time.
I was born in a suburb of Syracuse, New York. Went to school there, and then I went off to the University of Pennsylvania. And from there I met my husband, who was from Indianapolis. We got married and moved here, and been here for 45 years. I was an art history major. I did some docent work at the museum and at the Alan Clues home. I would lead tours there. I've been in the business for 30 years. I've always been with the Tucker Company. David Wilcox, Tucker Hawkins interviewed me. It's been a wonderful, wonderful experience. I've loved every minute of it, most every minute of it. I can think back to one or two clients I wish I hadn't had.
I've been in the business for 35 years. First 10 were spent as being a sales associate. For the next 25, I was an office manager. I got into real estate primarily because of my husband's encouragement. I am really, really pleased that I did. I have 3 children. It gave me the opportunity to be a mom and to make a very good living. Jim Litton and Fred Tucker, Gary Wursler, they all were very, very instrumental in getting me Tuckerized when I came from Graves. I so appreciated the opportunities that have been afforded me.
I started in Tucker Commercial, leasing office space, selling office buildings, and joined Tucker's Castleton office in the residential side of things. Practiced there from, I think, 91 on. About the mid-90s, I was asked to teach a class, probably because I talk loud. 1 class became 2, became 3. Next thing you know, I'm teaching more than I'm brokering. And when Jerry Wooten retired, I was offered the position as director. And have been doing that for about the last 7 years. I would like to thank Jim Litton, David Goodrich, and certainly Fred Tucker. They were all there that day I was hired. Now, would certainly be Lynn Davis and Stephanie Jordan. They have been so good to me as we try to make the school even better. When many people think of brokerage, they see a bunch of individuals who happen to get together under one umbrella. Tucker's so much more than that. Even though we are independent contractors, it is a family, and I love this family.
When I first got out of real estate school, I picked up the phone and I called a realtor that I'd known forever named Jack Hogan and said, "Why do you work at Tucker?" My first interview with Tucker was like at 8 o'clock at night with pizza, because I had 2 small kids and I couldn't leave them, and I joined Tucker. If a young person came to me to ask me what to do, I would tell them this is the greatest job in the world, but I'd tell them they have to work really hard, that you reap the benefits of how hard you work. One time I showed a house and raccoons and a family from a chimney ran across me, and I peed in my pants and had to go home and change clothes. Greatest company. It is a great company. I wouldn't work anywhere else.